果觉得我没办法放弃你 Baby 爱你的人只有你 Hello again, it's me Boris. I have not uploaded another video of China Talk for quite a long time, as many of you might know, I already lived for more than 3 years in China, and now I'm back in Germany. But in my 3 years in China, I gathered a lot of experience, and you can check out our videos on China Talk to learn more about that time in China. However, there are several interesting topics that I want to still discuss and share with you. So one of them is my experience of marrying in China, and I plan to maybe upload a couple of videos about it because it was quite a long and interesting experience. Many of you might have similar plans and ideas and wonder how that is being done, and so I think it's worth talking about it. So maybe I will upload several videos about it. One topic is of how to prepare the marriage and the wedding, how to really actually go ahead and marry in China, and then how it is maybe after the wedding, what expectations are there, how is it to actually have an intercultural marriage going on. So today I want to talk with you about how to prepare for the wedding in China, and I mean by that how to get through all this bureaucracy stuff, about how to get through all this paperwork and stuff. So that was really quite a long road, an exodus we had to go through, and I watched or I found this small video here from Bomb TV China, uploaded in 2012 on YouTube with the title "How to Marry in China as a Foreigner," and I think it's really a good video because you know, if I would have seen this video several years ago, then maybe I would have got a better idea on which steps are necessary and how to get ahead with my own wedding preparations. But also I think some topics come a little short in that video because it's a very short video and they just give you a brief overview.
And finally, the two Laowai lovebirds will take their marriageability certificates, passport, enough money for the fee, and 3 copies of their couple's photo to the local marriage registration office at the Bureau of Civil Affairs. No appointment is necessary, and once you get to the marriage registration office, things usually go very quickly. The official will enter your data, make copies of your passports, and print out your marriage certificate. And then, congratulations, you are now officially married according to the Chinese state.
When you watch this video, you might get this impression that it's quite easy to get married. Just bring a couple of documents and the next day you're married. It's not really not like that. And let me tell you why. First of all, if you're a foreigner and you want to marry in a Chinese person in China, you have this language barrier, and you need a couple of documents, but the problem is it's not enough to have these documents. You will need to translate these documents, and you cannot do that by yourself. You can also not go to any translation office or person translator that you decide yourself, but there are official institutions to translate these documents for you. And once they are translated, that's still not enough. They need to be legalized. And I don't remember every single step that we had to take, but in the end, it took us about 10 months until we had everything together and we were ready to go to the marriage registration office. And if you, like in my case, my wife Leslie, she comes from Henan in China, and then you cannot marry just in Beijing and settle everything there. You actually have to go to Henan and bring them your documents, let the documents being translated in case that has not been done yet, and then you can only marry there. So what I missed out saying is that it's not only 10 months, it did not only take us 10 months to get everything together, but it also took a couple of several hundred euro, maybe 600-700 euro altogether. So that is not an easy thing. And for this little comment here in Bon TV China, it sounds a little sarcastic if you know this background or have this background information. Just listen what they have to say about that.
But what's some extra errands when you're in love?
So I hope you know where I'm coming from. Yeah, it was not easy for us to afford either. We were young people and didn't earn that much money in China, so it's quite an investment. Not only we had to invest the money for getting all the paperwork done, I also had to fly back to Germany. So I had to get my marriageability certificate, and in my case, as far as I remember, it was not possible to just get it from the German embassy in China. I actually had to go back to my hometown. There I had to get my birth certificate, which of course I didn't have with me in China, it was with my parents. This birth certificate needed to be legalized newly. It was not enough to just bring the old birth certificate. So I had to pay that, I had to wait for that. When it was legalized, I could go to the a local office in Berlin and get my marriageability certificate. This marriageability certificate needed to be translated. I suppose it was by the German embassy or the Bureau of Foreign Affairs in Beijing. So that also took a long time and cost money. This translation, of course, also needed to be legalized from another or one of the same legal institutions. So altogether, when we had that all done, then we still needed to make an appointment, go to Henan. I also remember we had to translate something in Henan. They had their own translation office. You couldn't get it translated in Beijing. And then we were able to marry there. But when we showed them all our documents, they also told us, okay, the stamp on Leslie's Hukou certificate is not totally clear. So we need to get it done newly, go back to her hometown, and then we can come again and try again to marry. That was a huge problem. I came all the way from Germany. I flew to Germany to get my marriageability certificate. I flew back to China, and the next week I had to go to work. I had a new job in Germany. I didn't have time to just wait another couple of days and come back to Henan in China. So it was a lot of negotiation, and in the end we married on that day. But as I said, it took 10 months, 600 to 700 euro, and a lot of traveling, a lot of waiting, a lot of applying and translating. So be prepared for that. If you want to marry in China as a foreigner, then this is the one thing you need to really have, time. You need to prepare for that. And there are other things that you need to consider. I have heard that it's much easier if you decide to marry in some countries in Europe, for example. If your wife or your husband is Chinese and you plan to do everything in Denmark, for example, I heard it's very easy. And just check out all these possibilities. You might save a lot of efforts. And another thing you need to consider is which kind of name you want to have, because for example, Leslie still has her own Chinese family name, because if she would change it to my family name, it would not be the same on the marriage certificate as on her passport. So if she sends in everything to the visa office to get a German visa, then there might be difficulties to get a visa for Germany, because they say, how do we know that this person here on the marriage certificate is the same person as on the passport? The name is not the same no more. So then you would have to get another passport too. And for that reason, Leslie now, until today, still has her own family name. So what about you? Did you already marry in China? Did you have similar experiences? Maybe I was just stupid and I didn't get it right done. Maybe you just tell me how to do it the right way, how it can be done a little faster. Of course, maybe I could have saved some time. Maybe it doesn't have to be 10 months. As I said, I had to travel a lot. But or you are planning to eventually marry in the future. Maybe you can tell me something about that. Then I would appreciate it. We can get into some discussion. Maybe some other viewers can share their knowledge and help you on your personal plans of marrying in China. We chose to continue living in Germany for a couple of years now, but maybe you want to live in China, and then this is surely a big step for you to marry there. And another thing that comes with it very often in China is to buy a house, which is also a very problematic topic. And I heard of some foreigners who recommended not to do so. However, if the parents of your wife really expect you to buy a house in China, then what do? Maybe you don't really have a choice. And this is another topic maybe for another video. Thanks for staying with us. So check out our videos about student life in China. I am talking about my first experiences in China when I arrived there the first time, how I had no food, no room to sleep, and I was really not prepared very well, although I tried my best, and quite an adventure. And of course, as I said, maybe I can share some information about how we actually married in China, the wedding itself, and how everything is going afterwards. So stay with us, make sure to subscribe in the link after this video, and see you next time.